All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Yes And. I am your host, Zara Peters, and today I am here with three fantastic actors. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Oh, I'm Emmalee. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a second-year acting BFA with musical theater concentration.
Hi, my name is Grace. My pronouns are they, she, and I'm also a second year, but I'm a BA Theater Arts major.
My name is Christian. I am a 4.5 year because I'm a double major, and I am also a BFA in acting, but no MT.
Nice. So today we will be discussing Arcadia's upcoming production of Urinetown, which is music and lyrics by Mark Hollmann and Greg Codis, and directed by Kevin Glackham, who was on our last episode, or our first episode of Spotlight, but the most previous episode that has come out on this channel. Happening here on campus in the Little Theater, November 14th through the 17th. Tickets are pay what you can, meaning that they are free. So you should come check it out. But you guys, or should I say, we are all in Urinetown. So do you guys want to share who you're playing in Urinetown?
Oh, I'm playing Hope Cladwell.
I'm playing Josephine Strong.
I'm playing Caldwell B. Cladwell.
And I'm playing Soupy Sue, along with other, ensemble members.
Yeah.
But yeah, so does one of you guys want to give me a little synopsis about what Urinetown is all about?
Sure. So Urinetown is set in like a dystopian future where a drought has dried up all the water in this tiny little unnamed town, and a tyrannical CEO dictator man named Caldwell B. Cladwell essentially creates this company that regulates all of these like public toilets that you have to pay money to use, and anybody that doesn't pay money to use them is sent to Urinetown because it is illegal to pee for free. Events lead to a rebellion being started by one of the custodians of those urinals, and he starts a rebellion to overthrow Caldwell, and along the way falls in love with his daughter.
Hope Cladwell. Oh my god. So we've got father and daughter on this couch.
We do.
And we've got mother of Bobby Strong on this couch as well.
Who is the custodian who starts the rebellion?
Exactly.
Because I didn't say his name.
So
I
we've
just
got
realized
the whole family here, is what I'm hearing.
Practically, yeah.
And
What?
Soupy
And
Sue.
And Soupy Sue.
And Soupy Sue, thank God. But yeah, so one of the real main things I wanted to talk about that I think is so unique about the show, is that this show makes fun of itself a lot. It's basically kind of like, it breaks the fourth wall a lot, for starters, which I love when a show does that. But it also, really, like, I don't know, makes fun of musicals a little bit, but, like, in a way where it's still, like, a well-done show. So I don't know, what have you guys' experience been working on a show that's like that, or have you had experiences in shows that are similar to that before?
I've never been a part of a show like this, and I actually love it because it's all of the stereotypical theater, but it's so tasteful that it like makes it good. So I love it. It's great.
Yes. I don't remember who said it during one of the earlier rehearsals, but somebody said it's a musical that makes fun of bad musicals by intentionally being a bad musical.
Yeah.
The music's very, very catchy,
It's so good.
but it's got like so many like, oh god, what a terrible joke, like
Yeah, like,
but that you can't help but laugh at.
Yeah.
But no, I've also never been a part of it, but it is very, very fun. It is a very fun time.
I feel like I've never been a part of a show that, like, knows it's a musical.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been in shows where a director makes the choice that the characters in the show are aware that, like, it's a musical, but nothing, like, to this degree.
Yeah. I love how, I don't know, it's, like, so out the gate. I'm thinking about Casey French, who I don't think I'll ever get on this podcast. Is basically the narrator of the show, and also Officer Lockstock, who works under Cladwell. And he basically the whole time throughout the show is like, you know, well, hey guys, like here we're back for Act 2. Thank you for coming to the show. Like all those kinds of little things. And it's like, it's done so well that like you can't help but laugh. And speaking of laughing, I don't even know how we're not gonna break during this show.
Yeah.
Because it's already such a hard time in the room to not break because everything is so funny. It's written so well, and then it's directed so well, and it's acted so well. And it's choreographed so well, too. There's so many funny moments. If you look on our Instagram or our TikTok, we've got clips, or at least as of right now, we've got a clip up of Snuff That Girl. And there's parts of that song that I'm thinking of that are, like, very specifically choreographed to, like, pull comedy out.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I'm so excited for an audience because
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't even know how that's going. But
No, I've broken at least once every single rehearsal that we've had.
me too.
You make me laugh quite consistently, actually.
Yes.
You make just, like, absolutely ridiculous faces during very, very many moments, and yes, that makes me laugh. Casey makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm off stage when he makes me laugh, so that's good.
Veronica makes me laugh. I think.
Oh.
I feel like I cannot make eye contact with a single person.
I
because
know.
I would just break.
No, there's one part where I think it's Becca, Ray, and I are like staring at you because we're frozen.
Yeah.
And I in the corner of my eye, I see Blake, who's playing Bobby, like dancing in the corner, and Veronica's back there dancing too. And then I see Ray out of the corner of my eye, really, really trying hard not to break. And then it's Veronica and Casey downstage giving some delivery, and I just am hearing the two of their voices, and I can't help but laugh. And then when Kevin laughs, he has the most iconic
Yeah.
laugh in the world.
Yep.
Bellows.
And I'm like, it's literally just impossible.
And he'll bellow from the, he did it,
He
he
will.
does it during every show he directs. You could always hear it. And it, like, makes you feel good, too,
It
because if
does.
Kevin's laughing, then you're gritty
Yeah.
inside.
Well, no, I'm so glad. I love that he's directing this show because he, like, it's, like, really, like, you can tell that things are funny, which I feel like is something that you need, because I feel like sometimes, like, after hearing a joke so many times, it doesn't get stale, but, like, you become used to it. You're expecting it. And so when other people laugh, you're going, oh, wait, yeah, that is funny. And so it kind of just brings back that, like, spark, that life to it. So I'm really excited. How are you guys feeling about, we've got, as of this coming out, it will have been last week. Because as of this coming out, this will come out next Friday. So we will be about to go into tech.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I realized today that we are, as of shooting this is Friday the 1st of November. And we opened 2 weeks from yesterday.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we opened basically a week from yesterday as of this coming out. But how are you guys feeling about, we've got the designer run on Sunday, which I'm personally very excited for because I'm excited to have a little audience that hasn't seen the show before, hasn't been in the room before. So how are you guys feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm very excited because I feel like what you were saying about, jokes can get, old or like we're used to them. So I feel like bringing in a fresh new audience. And I also feel like that's kind of what Urinetown is for. It's for those new audiences that are like, what is Urinetown? This is so stupid. But like you come and see it and then it makes you want to come back again.
No, really it does.
Yeah, I'm just very excited.
Yeah.
Designer runs are they're always so much fun because it's like, it's the first chance to like do the same thing for other people. Although that said, most of the designers they're not. They're there to see where we're at, and they're looking for the bodies. My favorite thing was during one show, I think it was Into the Woods, Rob Napoli, who's the production manager, I asked him what he thought of the show during intermission, and he said, Christian, I haven't heard a word you said. I'm writing things that I don't know what you're saying. I'm just looking where you are. And I said, oh, thanks, Rob. But yeah, no, designer runs are fun.
Yeah.
Also, seeing other bodies is like...
Seeing other bodies or like actually having an audience that isn't like just like the same like 4 or 5 people, I think is really exciting. And also I think, like everyone who's working like on the crew of this show will be there. I think like Zay and Finn are probably going to be going, I think, because they've been working on a bunch of stuff for the show in like workshop and stuff. So I'm really excited for like them to go see the show. Like it feels like a little like, I don't know.
It's like a preview for
it's a little preview.
Internal preview.
And it's also really exciting because it's the first time it really like fully comes together.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like I'm like nervous because, I mean, we've been blocking, working through, learning everything. But this weekend is when it really becomes real because we don't have too many opportunities before the designer run and before tech to do the entire thing. Yeah. So it's going to be kind of new to us as well. Yeah. And I don't know if I mentioned before in this podcast, but for anyone who doesn't know what a designer run is,
It basically is a rehearsal where you run through the entire show in your rehearsal space, and all of the different designers, the costume designers, lighting designers, set designers, sound designers, every designer comes in and sits down and gets to watch the whole show, so they can say, oh, okay, so like that thing's not going to work because of where that character is placed, or like this lighting thing isn't going to work, or I need to make sure that this like is lit over here, or that this like sound cue happens there, especially since this is a musical. That's really important. But yeah, I wanted to throw that out there in case anyone didn't know what it was. Yeah, this is a very music heavy show. Yeah. So how has that been for you all musical theater folk?
Well,
I was saying, because I know you two are MTs, and I know you're not, but I know you have a lot of experience doing musicals.
Yeah, I've done musicals before. I mean, I don't really remember, like, the in-depth music rehearsals of high school, but I've done this, and I've done Into the Woods, which is a Stephen Sondheim show, and the music and harmonies in the show are harder than anything I learned in Into the Woods. There's just so many of them. The Act 1 finale is it's like an 8-part harmony, and everybody's singing different words and all in different times. And it's been the hardest music that I've had to learn at Arcadia.
Yeah, I can say the same. I am like a true soprano, truest it gets, and I have been thrown into the alto and mezzo soprano line, which is totally cool. I could do it, but it is so unbelievably hard. I just spent like 2 hours in the steel building at the piano, plunking out notes, just trying to figure out where I am because it's so difficult. But because it's so difficult, that makes it more fun and makes me want to learn it.
Because when you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
It's like when you get it, you get it. And then when like I like sometimes like I'll like listen back to like the choreography like videos or stuff that are like for us to practice from, and I'm listening to it, I'm like, we sound so good.
Yes, Not That Girl is...
I was like,
it sounds so much fun.
I was like, wow, that sounds so good. Because it's like you get to hear it from an outside perspective. But, Yeah,
I love hearing all of the numbers, like, when they're on stage. Because usually when we're in musical rehearsals, we're, like, sat in our parts. So we can really only hear our parts. And especially, like, us, because we're... in the soprano section, you know, you can only hear the
Sopranos are loud.
But it's so nice to hear all of the different parts, and they just blend so nice.
So, I was literally, when we were running Run Freedom Run yesterday, and I'm like, all of my blocking usually has me placed either next to like Ray, or like Evan and James are right behind me, and they're either doing like the tenor or the bass parts, and I'm like, this sounds so cool, and I keep having to focus. I'm like, no, focus. I need to make sure that I'm singing my part. But I personally have had such a good time because I haven't done a musical theater rehearsal since high school. So this has been a really fun, because my last show that I worked on was Sweeney Todd, which was a very musically challenging show. So this feels to me, I remember listening to the soundtrack and feeling like it sounded it didn't sound the same, but it gave some of the same vibes to some of the Sweeney Todd stuff. And so I was like, oh, this feels so full circle. But, no, I've had such a good time with the music rehearsals.
And I feel like, too, it doesn't seem like a show that would have such complicated music.
Which I think is what puts it over the top.
Yes, and you actually are looking at it, and it's like, wow. And it's just so impressive, too, at the time that we've all learned it. And
we've learned this fast.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes back to what we were saying before of, like, it makes fun of itself, but at the same time it's good, because not only are the jokes, like, tasteful and they're well-placed, but, like, there is a time and place for, like, actual moments between characters, and there's a time and place for, like, the music is so good itself, and it lends itself to such, like, people who have such amazing voices, that I think it really, like, really works. And I just, like, I can't wait to see it with, like, costumes on the stage, because the set is going to be amazing, you guys. I'm so excited. I don't know, like, how much to say, if I should, like, spoil certain parts of it, or if I shouldn't, but...
I guess they just
you'll just have to come see.
You'll just have to come see the show. Or at least follow us on Instagram and TikTok, because there's so many pictures up there. And Facebook, but
Arcadia Theater is a Facebook.
Yes, but it's like it's the same stuff that's posted on Instagram is posted on the Facebook. So, but yeah. So to wrap it up a little bit, I love asking people what their favorite moment of either the show or the rehearsal process has been. You can give me one of each if you want. If you have like two, you can give me those. I'm not picky. I'll take what you give me. But
I I can think of two. My favorite musical moment is probably the Act 1 finale, just because it's so. We did like a TikTok thing, and it was like something we were most looking forward to, and it did not disappoint me. It's so chaotic and it's so ridiculous, and I won't spoil the one piece of choreography, but the end, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
So good.
That makes me laugh I break all the time during that.
Yeah.
It's so beautifully, wonderfully chaotic, and it's so much fun. And my favorite scene moment, I take it back. I'm gonna stick with the musical moment because I can't think of a scene moment.
Real.
Yeah, I think my favorite moment, as of literally last night, is Run Freedom Run. Because I just feel so connected to the rest of the cast, and it's just such a fun, goofy number.
It is.
And we're just doing such insane choreography that you're just, what?
You're like, this is ridiculous. I love this.
Yes, exactly, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I love Don't Be the Bunny.
I love Don't Be the
It's
Bunny.
so fun to watch.
I'm not even on stage right now, but I love that part.
It's so good. And again, with the tastefulness of how silly it is, it works perfect. I also love Snuff That Girl.
Snuff That Girl.
Yeah.
Is so good.
I'm so jealous I cannot
awesome.
be in that number at all.
It's impossible, actually.
I'll be bellowing from the background.
It's so
well, yeah,
challenging.
you're tied up half the time, so.
I know.
And it's gonna be actually impossible not to laugh or to be actually scared and not.
I think that might be one of my favorite moments, or like I think musically one of my favorite moments is that whole part at the end where we all come in singing at the same time. That's probably one of my favorite musical moments of the show. That I really love Act 1 finale as well. But what we were saying with Run Freedom Run, like last night, I was like, this is so fun. I'm like, I can't wait until we're just like that, and also I See a River at the end. Like there's this part where we were all waiting and like in a line, and we were all holding hands because it's like, you know, what the blocking dictates. And they were like, you know, talking about something and trying to figure something out. And we were all, you know, standing there being silent, but we were playing like Pass the Squeeze. So we were like passing the squeeze back and forth between all of our hands. And it was just like little moments like that I'm like, this is just, this show just feels so like connected with each other. Which I love so much.
And I think it's also fun because especially the ensemble parts, they bounce back and forth between the two sides. Like you play Soupy Soup, but you also work as a Cladwell employee. So like, yes, it's very, very funny.
Which I love Mr. Cladwell too. That number is one of my favorite numbers too. I love that so much.
It is,
yeah. I think you could just tell that it's a room full of people who love each other and who really care about what they're doing, and they care to put on a great show, even if it's so goofy and we can't take it seriously.
I think that's what makes it so hard not to break, too. Because I feel like if we weren't all so connected like we were, it wouldn't be as hard. But I'm over here listening to Veronica, who, like, sleeps 5 feet away from me, doing her little, like...
Her little Sally voice.
Officer Lockstock! And I'm like, please, it's so funny. Or, like, when you're, like, the Don't Be the Bunny, that whole number, I'm like, not only am I in awe of your singing voice, but at the same time, I'm just like, this is just so funny, and Christian is killing it. So it's like a mix of like all of those kinds of things. And I also just, as someone who plays like one of the poor, like all of us, we have our little moments that we're like doing, and we're like whispering to each other the whole time, and we're like, what's going on? And it's like there's so many little moments that like I cannot help but laugh because Becca will like whisper something that's like hilarious in my ear, and I have to turn around to like not be seen cracking up laughing.
There are moments of the show that like aren't supposed to be like explicitly funny. Like at the end, she starts singing "I See a River," and she looks at me, and I'm just like,
no, literally. I See a River, for some reason, I was having such a hard time not cracking up laughing. Because on one hand, I'm like, Emmalee sounds so good right now. Like, it's literally, like, the most beautiful thing in the world. But for some reason, I'm sitting here trying not to cackle. And, like, Ray is right behind me. And Ray just, like, puts his arm on my thing. And I'm like... Or, like, there's, like, little moments, like, at the end, that moment with Ray and I, no spoilers, but that moment with Ray and I, we have, like, we made our own little choreographed, like, things that we're doing at that moment, which make it ridiculous. And it's, like, one person in the audience is going to notice that and think it's funny. But, like, it's, at the end of the day, it's just for us, really.
There's a very similar moment during the Act 1 finale where I'm, like, yelling at Blake, and I'm, like, pointing at him. He hasn't done it since, but during the first time that we ran it, like, I had my finger in his face, and he, like, went, And now every time I do that, that's what I'm thinking about. Well, he hasn't done it since, but every time I'm doing that, I'm like fighting the urge to smirk because that's what I'm thinking about.
No, literally.
So it's not a funny moment at all. It's like a battle,
No,
but
it's
yeah.
And I'm just like, a part of me's terrified for an audience because I'm like, it's gonna be a mess. It's not gonna be a mess, but it's gonna be like in our heads. We're gonna be like going backstage, being like,
I need to hear more laughs during the designer run because I think the laughs are gonna.
I think the laughs are
some
really.
of them
We need
will
to get
get
used to it too.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Some of them
yeah, no, I feel the same way as well with like a lot of stuff that Ray does. Like as Old Man Strong or Hot Blades Harry,
His
Ray just will be throwing.
It's like Boston, New York,
Yeah,
gay,
and
like gay Boston, New York. That's
overripe
cantaloupes.
But it's also like there's just a little physicality. Like there's this moment where you like stand up and then Ray's just like. And it's just like the little things that you pick up on, and like even if like people don't repeat their like actions twice or the way that they said something twice, you just like you said with the video, you just keep thinking about it, and you're like, no, I need to remain in this moment. But yeah, well, this has been a lovely chat with you guys. I say as though we don't have a 4-hour rehearsal tonight together.
But we don't see each other every single day.
Which also has been so fun, by the way.
Yeah.
I've literally my mood has just increased so much since starting this rehearsal process. Because I'm like, I get to see all these people that I love and that are so talented every single day. But yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks, Zara.
Thank you. I've had a great time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
So you guys should check out, there's tickets in the description below, and you guys should come see Urinetown, November 14th through the 17th, to see these very talented actors perform.
And this very talented actor perform.
Soupy Sue.
Soupy Sue.
But, yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever you're watching this. I don't know. See you guys later. Bye!